I'm Mrs. Nelson, your environmental science teacher. Welcome. I have a few things to go over with you just to make sure you have some clarifications on the handouts that you should have received from your PLT. One of the ones that you should have received first is this environmental science yellow sheet with the code. That's the code to your Google Classroom. And then the rest are some information on how to get you through class. So you should have that form, and then you should also have your syllabus. So a syllabus is just telling you the class expectations, when we get back to classroom, what are some of the consequences for behaviors, including in Google Class. Also the materials that you will need, and then you're asked to sign back here that you understand that, and also turn that in. So you'll be turning that into Google Class. You can take a picture, an image, and download that to one of the assignments. You'll see that in the Google Classroom. You should have also received an assignment sheet. So they'll say assignment sheet, and this tells you how the assignments are to be done up top, and then what is due. So these are due dates. So on the 20th, this is due. You should have read lessons 1 and 2 and started on the assessment. And then for the 27th, you do this reading here and start on the assessment and finish up the assessment and turn that in. So what that looks like is for this class, you are getting these packets. So you should have got this first one that says Student Edition. That is your reading. So every time you see me or hear me say, oh, you need to do the reading, this is your reading packet. I try to keep those in color so that you can see the maps and read the maps, and they have some good keywords. This is the first one, Biological Diversity, the World Riches. So you should have that, and I'm also downloading that online, so you'll have access through Google Classroom. So that is your reading. It has all the lessons in it. This is a map that you will see, and some handouts that you'll see on Google Class. Instead of printing a bunch of these out, because you just need them as reference, kind of like reading material and information that you'll need to answer the assessment questions and your workbook questions, these will be found online, and you can use those from the internet. Find that in Google Class. And here is your assessment. I had to change it because it just said Teacher's Masters, but it's actually the assessment. So your other ones will say a workbook, and I'll be showing those later. For right now, this is just the first assignments, the first 2. This packet is where you're going to be answering your questions, and I put one in Google Classroom that you can edit. If you have a PDF editor, that's your best way to do it, because you can just open it up, put your name on it, you can even type into it, and answer the questions in here. Instead of turning it in a paper form, you can do it through Google Classroom and return this. And that way you don't have to make copies. So be answering those questions. And yes, if you see essay lines, those mean essays. So write essays, complete sentences. You can use bullet points. If you need to include a diagram, you can insert a diagram into Google Class. So be answering those questions as you go along. Don't save them till the last minute. And again, here's your second one that you have. So this is the Student Edition reading. That's going to be your reading. Differential survival of organisms. And I'll provide videos for some of those things that if you want to learn a little bit more about the environment. There's your colorful reading. And this is your workbook. So the rest of them will say workbook. And you will be answering the questions based on the reading. Again, those will be found online as well. I'll have those where you can download them. So if you don't have your hard copies right away, you can always download those and read them. For my expectations of this class is that we meet in Google Classroom, and I will have a few meetups just to kind of go over questions and labs, things like that. So this is just to get you oriented with the handouts that I've given you, and just to kind of see who I am. You won't need a lab notebook. Some of you have already taken my classes before, and for this class, I'm not requiring you to have a lab notebook yet. If we meet in person for second semester, that may change. So just be prepared. Make sure you show up in Google Class, and we will have a few meetups about once a week, maybe even twice a week if there's lots of questions. And I look forward to getting to know each one of you and seeing you in the class soon. Thank you.